Welcome back to a new lesson of thermodynamics. My name is Janet Wilka. In the first chapter, we define what is thermodynamics. Basically, it's a sign of energy. Talk about the laws. The first law of conservation of energy. Okay, and then we talk about the systems, closed, isolated, and open system, and the difference between them. Now we talk about the properties, specifically the intensive properties, which are density, pressure, temperature, for example, and extensive properties, total mass, total volume. The difference between them is that intensive properties are not dependent of the amount of matter. Now let's talk about the density and relative density. Density basically is the mass per unit volume, and the relative density is the ratio of the density of any substance to the density of a standard substance, in this case water. Now let's talk about a specific volume and a specific weight. A specific volume, as you can see, it is the reciprocal of density, or is the volume per unit mass, and the specific weight is the weight per unit volume, or it is equal to the density times gravity. Now let's talk about the state. Basically, for example, if we have water here in the state 1, we can have cool water, and in state 2 we can have hot water. We have two states of the same systems. Okay, it means that all the properties of our system have fixed values. And what about equilibrium? Equilibrium. Basically, a system is in thermal equilibrium if the temperature, as you can see in this, is the same throughout the entire system. Meanwhile, in this picture, we can see different values of temperature. Okay. Now, to have a deeply knowledge of a state, we need two properties. We need to know two properties which are independent and intensive. Now let's talk about processes and cycles. If we have here in the state 1 cool water and state 2 hot water, to get hot water we follow a process, and we have to pass between different states. Okay, so we have so it is called the process path. And what about the cycle? If we had cold water heat, then hot water heat, and we state our hot water on the table, it returns to be cold again. So we have a cycle. We talk about the control volume. So in the next chapter we talk about the pure substance. Thank you very much for seeing this video.